and expect me to be okay.
You know, Dane. I knew there was something going on with him. Okay, so I just needed to do a check-in like today, the day before I Am Flame releases, before I just like completely mentally check out of like literally everything. And I needed to do a check-in about Fourth Wing because I did tab up last time. I used this amazing little Tombow pen, which I will be doing again this time, and I will be tabbing up again. I have some slightly different tabs. They're the same colors, but this bit is kind of transparent, whereas before they were just all a flat color. It's literally the ones I held on hand that matched, and I was too lazy to go and order some more because I already had a load on hand. I literally have 5 sets of these. That should be more than enough to take me through I Am Flame. I am hoping. I'm going to be using the same tabbing system I did last time, and last time I missed out on 2 of these colours. It's just sort of like these 2 above and below the green here, and I did say when I finished Fourth Wing that if I was going to include another tab, it would have been 10, the Comedy King. 10 is absolutely hilarious, and honestly I go back and I like reread certain bits just to give myself the energy and the motivation to get through the day, and honestly that's always on a Monday. I have recently been listening to a Fourth Wing podcast, and if I am not obsessed, I know nothing. They have been totting up like every single time that Dane touched Violet's face. Little bit of a spoiler, but then again, if you've not read Fourth Wing, what the hell are you doing here? So every time Dane touches Violet's face, there is speculation that he is using his signet power to basically read her recent memories, which is how he knows a lot of stuff that's going on. Now, because of this, I didn't even recognise this on my first read, which I think is fair enough because we didn't kind of pick up on a lot of things in the first read, but I didn't even pick up on it in my second read through. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed in myself for that. But because of this, I feel like we need another tab, which is Ill No Dane. And frankly, this is my formal petition for the whole meme of Ill No David to become Ill No Dane. And I feel like I need a tab for it because I kind of want to mark out every single time he touches her, goes near her, says something shady, is just a general Ill No Dane. Now, having picked up on it, I do kind of feel like I need to go back and add those bits into here, which I will probably do one of these days, and that's not today. I feel like it needs to be said that I clearly don't like him, and honestly, no one can convince me otherwise at this moment. There are people speculating online that at some point in the series he's going to get a redemption arc and he's going to be the enemies to lovers, and I'm like, no! I will rage so hard. Keep it out. I don't want it. I don't want it. No! God, please, no! I think the saddest bit of this is the book arrives tomorrow, and I can't even start reading it tomorrow because I have extra shifts at work. So I literally cannot even start reading it straight away, and honestly, if that's not the most heartbreaking bit about all of this, I don't know what is. So that being said, I will check back in once I actually get to start reading. Hi readers, my name's Annie, and if you didn't know, this is my debut novel. It was my book's first birthday back in the middle of November, but at the beginning of December you will be able to get the ebook of this on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk for only 99 cents or 99p respectively. The dates will be linked in the description box down below, so do let me know if you pick this up, do let me know what you think, and I will see you guys later. I am literally about to die from excitement. I have a load! Oh my god. My brain is malfunctioning. The entire day I have been able to think of literally nothing but this. Oh my god. And we have a love redesigned by Lauren Asher. I cannot wait to read this on my holiday, but let's be honest, we're here for one thing and one thing only, and I'm about to die. Oh my god. I am calm. It is fine. I am not calm. I am not fine. I am obsessed. This is chonky. How chonky? Oh my god, it is so much. Look how chonky that is by comparison.
Oh, I'm obsessed. Okay, I want to know how many pages it is. 498 was Fourth Wing. I love the fact that the last page I'm looking like, what? I do not want to look at any spoilers. I literally need 623. 623 pages of literally pure bliss. Oh my god, I'm going to die. The quote on the back: the first year is when some of us lose our lives, the second year is when the rest of us lose our humanity. I have lost my humanity today waiting for this book, so I get it. Like, I get it. Okay. Oh my god, these end papers. Get out of here. Oh, there is so much that is going to happen in this book. So these end papers, okay, we've got, it says, An Uncertain Future, Section 5, Wars and Rebellions, and we've got Violet Sorrengale and Xaden Riorson, and then we've got a little note at the top saying that I assume the author is Jazinia Nilwat, who obviously basically wrote Fourth Wing. There was that little bit at the beginning. My brain has just malfunctioned. My brain truly has just malfunctioned. Oh my god. So we actually get the layout of how everything works. So we've got Fourth Wing, and all other wings structure is identical, but you've got the wing leader and the executive officer, who's the second in command, and then you have claw, flame, and tail section, and then you've got squad 1, 2, and 3. Oh my god. Once again, before we actually start, we have this little insert that says the following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into the modern language by Jazinia Nilwat, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgiath War College. I still say Basgiath, it's Basgiath. It's fine. All events are true, and names have been preserved to honour those fallen. May their souls be commended to Malek. And I saw a theory online that, like, at the end of this, everyone's dead, or there's like one person left alive, and honestly that is like the most painful thing, and I genuinely like just cannot think about that right now because I will die. I have all my tabs. I have decided I am going to use all 10 tabs because what we're adding in is 10 the Comedy King and Il No Dane, and I'm not even mad about it. And I have like a few predictions. Not that I would necessarily call them like predictions for the book. I have predictions, my annotations. And last time in Fourth Wing, I used basically all of this second colour in like 3-4 sheets of tabs. I just picked up that same colour again. I used like 4 sheets of the same colour, which was for romance. And I know that obviously Violet and Xaden have a few issues between them and whatnot, which we saw at the end of Fourth Wing, but honestly I'm kind of expecting to use all 5 sheets that I own for this colour, just because they now like know each other, and I think there's going to be so many moments where we're going to just get things that we just didn't see before, and they're going to defend each other, and we're just going to get so many more like scrunchy moments. That whole thing just came off. That's so rude. Sit. And honestly, I could not be more excited. I've literally been like gasping for air in anticipation of this arriving, and like I just feel this like overwhelming sense of calm right now, and I don't think it's going to last very long. But it's fine. Let's just write out what we're tabbing. I've obviously put everything on this page. I've had to put it next to where it says part 1 because this is like the first completely blank page we've had. We're just gonna go with it. It's fine. Like I said, I'm pretty much copying the same tabs as last time except for those extra 2. I actually cannot comprehend how excited I am, to the point where I have been waiting for this book from Lauren Asher for like ever. Since the last one of the Dreamland Billionaires came out, I have been waiting for this book, and honestly, it's going straight on the shelf. I'm packing it for my holiday, but this is literally going straight on my shelf without a single thought given, and I am so sorry, but like I can't comprehend anything aside from Iron Flame right now. She survived her first year at Basgiath War College, but the danger is just beginning. Everyone expected Violet Sorrengail to die during her first year at Basgiath War College, Violet included, but threshing was only the first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch the rider's capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's the new Vice Commandant who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is, unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has her wits and will of iron, and leadership is forgetting the most important lesson Basgiath has taught her. Dragon riders make their own rules. But a determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries at Basgiath War College, and nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end. Chapter 1. Revolution tastes oddly sweet. I missed you! Oh my god, there's so much already. It's literally page 2 and I'm like, oh my god. Yo! Oh, it's on page 7. Why do you have to fucking remind me that he doesn't survive? It's just horrid. That's so mean. Oh, Leo. You can't say that and expect me to be okay. Yes, I'm so glad that Dane Atos is not our friend. He shouldn't have been our friend in the first place because he's a horrible person. I'm so emotionally invested in this page 20. Oh, thank God. So, one of my biggest issues with book 1 was when we finished a chapter on this side, was that we would then have a blank page and we could start the next chapter. And they got rid of it. They got rid of the ghastly blank page. Thank goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay, that gets to say in the comedy king line. I was convinced she was gonna stay gold. Oh my god. I'm obsessed with teenager Donna. This is giving me so much life. I've just got to page 32, which is chapter 4, and already I've laughed, I've cried, I've smiled, I've grimaced. I think I've gone through every single emotion that I actually have as a human already. And I am so here for it. I am so here for this. They've just turned up back at Basgiath War College. They've literally just flown all the way, and Dana is such a vibe and I'm obsessed with her, but we'll come to that a little bit later because we've not really had much to do with her now. But they've just got back. It's graduation day. Xaden and Garrick are literally about to graduate and their names have just been called on the death toll, and he stood there and he's like, well, this is awkward. And of course everyone freaking turns to look. If that doesn't set up how this book is going to continue, then like I don't even know what to expect. Honestly, I just like cannot comprehend like everything that's going on. I'm gonna have to reread this. Absolutely, I'm gonna have to reread this to like get every single little thing. This is insane. We've got so much world building, we've got so much lore being given to us, like especially about the dragons. Like Violet's like very much like, I need honesty from all of you, and Ten and Satan are like, I'm kind of uncomfortable, but like I'll give it a go. And honestly, Ten's doing a better job and I love him. Those tabs that I made, yeah, you know these tabs, and I said that we were going to include 10 Comedy King. It's going to be 10 Comedy King, Feet, and Dana and Zagail. I am like so full focus right now that I am going to be sat in this exact position for hours yet. Like I am not going to move from here for hours. I just, like, my brain really needs to know why Jazinia is the one writing this.
However, my heart is like, let's not open that can of worms, honey, because I do not have the emotional capacity to potentially deal with that. Here we go. Oh dear. I have no idea. Like hell, you have no idea, honey. You caused this. The audacity of Atos, of Mr. Atos, of Sir Atos. Oh, he's like Colonel Atos. Mama's coming out to bat. Oh, yes. Mama just skinned Colonel Atos alive. And she didn't lift a finger. Oh my god, she is terrifying. Every mention of Leo has like my eyes threatening to cry, honestly. Pleasantly fuddled, but not entirely sloshed. You can't say things like that and expect me to be okay. Okay, I'm about to start chapter 8, and again, like, so much has already happened. You can literally already see how much I am tabbing in this. I am just like absolutely going ham to my heart's content, but honestly there is so much going on and there is so much that we have to learn. And what is the first thing that Dane does? He goes and reaches for her face. What is the first thing that Violet does? Threaten to cut off his hands. Yes, queen. I am so here for it. We've also met the new vice principal of the school. I don't even know really what his title is. He's the vice whatever. Vice commandment. And he's a horrible piece of work. And I don't like him instantly. They're trying to obviously separate Violet and Xaden, and I'm not here for it, and it's literally going to cause so many problems. Like, I can just see it coming. And Ten's going to be grumpy, and Zagel's going to be grumpy, and teenage and Donna's going to be hangry. Everyone's going to be upset, everyone's going to be angry, everyone's going to be grumpy, and I'm also kind of here for it. I think it's going to be quite funny. It's going to be a good time. Like, I don't really feel like we've quite gotten very far at this precise moment in time. I mean, we're only sort of like 58 pages in, but we've not really gotten anywhere. We've got back to the college. We've had 6 days of a party, and it's about to be Parabet Day. Xaden's gone. The third years are gone. They've left. They've yeeted. They've scooted. They've booted. They're off. They're off doing new graduate things. I don't know. They're lieutenants now. They're off doing lieutenant things. We've met a couple of the new people, but realistically, I don't really feel like we've gotten anywhere. And I don't feel it's like we're rehashing stuff, but I feel like we're doing a lot of like prep work before everything goes wrong. Not that I'm mad about that, because I feel like we really need to lay the groundwork, because at the end of Fourth Wing, everything just went bananas, everything was crazy. And then obviously in Iron Flame, we start in Aratia, we're now back at the college, blah-de-blah-de-blah. But we've not really like developed anything as yet, and we've just got to the first lesson, which has been a classified lesson up until now, and it's this survival, Ryder's survival class or whatever, and they're literally guaranteeing that she's gonna get tortured. I don't know how to say it. I think it's EDS, but I feel like that's gonna really come into play, and I feel like it will be in her favor with the interrogation and such. Like, there's just so many different ways that this could go wrong, and it makes me kind of nervous. The anxiety is starting to settle in a little bit. But on to brighter notes. We get a little bit with Jazinia in the scribe quadrant, and Violet basically says that Jazinia is probably going for the adept path, which is the hardest of all degrees, which is what she would need to become curator of the scribe quadrant, which, as we know from the
from the foreword, basically the bit that says that she wrote it. It says, Jazinia Nelwar, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgiath War College. And my heart doesn't know how to feel about that. I don't know if I'm in pain. I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know how I feel. There is so many emotions going on with this. And it's such a roller coaster already. And I'm so excited. I forgot Sloane was coming this year. She's not even stepped foot on the parapet yet. I'm crying. Oh, you know, Dane. Keep your unwanted rubbish to yourself, Jane. Because it's just that, unwanted. Don't do this to me. My heart can't take it, Rebecca. No. I'd never make it in the writer's quadrant. I'm such a wet fish. I cry at the tiniest thing. I'd never make it as a writer. As much as I would love to. Let's be realistic. Yes, possible consent, king. Oh, why is that so hot? Honey, I want to throw her seat. What you? Like shrinking down in my seat. Like making me better. I won't say to Reels to write me a love letter. This isn't fair. Ew. Ew. He gives me the ick. Ew. Bodhi, why? I know we're meant to hate this guy, but I really hate this guy. He's beyond an ick. Why do you have to throw her clothes everywhere? That's so rude. Okay, I have just got to chapter 12. I am tabbing away. You can literally see that there are just like literally so many tabs there. And I am already starting to run out of these top 4 tabs, which are friendship, romance, important, and foreshadowing. I'm also slowly running out of world building, and I honestly, that's kind of all I've used thus far. There hasn't been like that much like magic-y stuff kind of referenced. I think because they're back at the college and there's like only so much they can really do other than like using the pens, and obviously it's not shiny and new, so it's like not super exciting. But Violet and Ten have literally just set off to go and visit Xaden. Xaden's already been to visit her. Everything is going wrong. Everyone's getting attacked in the showers, eating lunch. It's all bad. Everyone's bruised and broken and hurting, and I feel for them. And I'm now like, after like book 1, Fourth Wing, I was like, I could totally be a writer. Like, I would smash that. And this book, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm too much of a precious princess for that. I'll stay in my seat in the Scribe Quadrant. I'm too much of a precious little princess to be out there getting beaten up every 5 minutes. I will pass. But I'm really enjoying this, unsurprisingly. Of course I'm enjoying this. I'm literally obsessed. I despise Varish. Like, to the point where, like, I feel like I'm having, like, a soul deep reaction every time he comes on the page, which, like, I get is the point. I get we're meant to hate him, and he's, like, the main course of conflict for her, like, while Xaden's away, and, you know, like, with everything going on where she's not allowed to be involved and stuff, and he is, like, the main source of conflict. Like, I get we're meant to hate him, but honestly, it's, like, a soul-deep reaction that, like, I can't even put it into words right now. But, like, literally, like, I feel my blood boiling. I feel, like, physically sick every time he's mentioned. And I'm like, yes, just let me stew in my hatred.
I am so angry and I'm so done with this man already, and we're like 100 and a little bit pages in, and just let me stew in my hatred. And when he inevitably dies, because I will accept no other option, I'm going to be so happy that I will throw a party and everyone who's invited will be like, why the hell are we here? And I'll be like, because he's dead. And they'll be like, I don't understand. I would consider the fact that Cadet Sorrengail has spent more time in the archives than anyone else in this room, and then I would carefully consider an intelligent response. He's already proven he's passed an intelligent response. Just move on. I have a feeling about the king's third son, Eric. I'm not convinced it's a good feeling, a bad feeling. I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something. I don't think he needs to touch his face anymore, though. I think he can do it without touching his face. I'm convinced he's our third. He's so much more powerful than he was before. Chance he gets redemption on, honestly. He can't. I knew there was something going on with him. Oh my god, so much has literally just happened. There was word that Zayden was injured. I was about to cry. So she just like yeets out of Battlegrave. She's like, see you later. I'm gone. She's getting like she knows she's gonna get in trouble, honestly. She's like, I don't care. My man needs me. And honestly, yes. And they literally go and fly straight away. And obviously, Zayden is fine. Thank God for Menders. Thank God for Menders. But they do a drop off of weapons and we finally meet Katrina. And as much as Violet's like, no, I don't want to talk about your exes, and Zayden's like, I don't want to talk about your exes, I'm like, I want to. I want to know. Who is she? She's clearly not worthy. I mean, 10 was like, she's not worthy. She was passed over twice by dragons. So she ain't, like, she is not worth our time and effort. But at the same time, my pettiness is like, yeah, but I need to know. So tell me. So I would like to unpack that, but apparently no one else seems keen on unpacking that. She gets back to Basgaev and she's like, right, okay, like I'm done for. Let's just get this over with. If I can just like pop down Zayden's jacket like super quick so that like I don't get caught with the dagger. And literally Varish is like waiting for her. He's like outside her door. He's like, oh, there you are. And she's like, oh, I was just gonna like, you know, have a shower before I turned myself in. And he's like, oh, so you're aware that you're in trouble, like good. And obviously his goonies are like checking her bag. And then Kaori, the MVP, turns up. Honestly, I love him. I'm obsessed with Kaori. He's now officially part of the squad and I love him. He's like, oh, did you not get the memo, Varish? Because I spoke to Panchek and like she's like with a super powerful dragon who's very mated. So she's fine. Like, she's cool. And Rhee is, like, poking her nose out the door, and Violet's like, like, no. And Ree, what a queen. She like finally manages to pull something through a wall, and it's the dagger. And obviously Violet's gonna have to like tell them everything now. But Ree and Kaori are MVPs, and I love them eternally, and I'm obsessed.
I'm stressed and I've not moved anywhere. This is crazy. And I love it. I just got to chapter 36. I am just over halfway through. And everything I know has been thrown off the parapet and left to die at the bottom. I am not okay. I think out of all the lessons, I think it's the chaos of battle grief that I was like really scared to miss, and I'm really glad we're not missing it. I would have been a little bit sad. I learned so much about grief. I'm so happy that Andana's awake. Oh, teenage Andana. I love honey boo boo. Honestly, they have the weirdest sibling dynamic. I can't. Why is Violet the voice of reason here? I love that Andana went from being called the golden one to the hungry one. That's such a vibe.
I'm basically done with this sheet. The only colour that's left is No Day, and they're setting up a resentment arc, and I'm not happy about it. I'm out of important again. That's the first one to go again. Katrina's gonna be here for I just know it. I have a feeling in my bones, and I'm happy about it. Yup, there it is. So I completely forgot to do a check-in since I started part 2. Honestly, I've just been like so totally engrossed. There's just like so much going on, and honestly I really love the fact that not only do we have some of the professors from Basgiath, but we also have some new professors or teachers in Arita. And I'm really here for it. I actually really love the lessons and like being there during the lessons, because like I feel like that unlocks so much of the history of the world, how magic works, various different lore and bits and pieces, and I really love that. So I am super enjoying the lessons, which I literally never said during any of my own education. Not once. But I despise Kat as a character. I want her gone. Honestly, I want her buried under a mountain with Varish. But like, I get why she's there, and that kind of annoys me a little bit more. Like, I know why she's here, because obviously we need conflict, but oh, I'm so done with her. Like, I'm so done with her. And I agree with, I can't remember if it was Sawyer or Riddick, but one of them was like, she needs to get yeeted off the cliff, and I'm like, I volunteer as tribute to yeet her off the cliff. Like, I will boot her off the cliff. Thank you very much. Please and thank you. At this precise moment in time, we're just like relearning bits and pieces, and we're just like, we're just doing some lessons before things go really wrong. But obviously we've now connected with the Griffins, and we're trying to sort of build a relationship. Yeah, I feel about the same as like all the writers. I'm like, do we have to? I don't like them. Who's the nice one? Marin. I like Marin. She's alright. It's like, it's now getting to that point in the book where it's like really difficult to do updates without like huge major spoilers, but I am like absolutely loving this. I'm on chapter 46, like I said, which is page 444, and obviously this only has 620 pages, so I'm on the home stretch, and I'm a little bit sad because I don't want this to end just yet. I don't want it to end. And I know that obviously I still got like a good like 200 pages, but it doesn't feel like there's actually quite enough for me to emotionally cope with. There's so much going on. There is so much going on, and there are just like so many emotions. I feel like a roller coaster. I have been on an emotional roller coaster, and honestly, I want to get straight back at the start. I have never liked X's turning up in a story. This is precisely why. Please calm me down if I don't, because I'm stressed. Can you just listen to me? I feel quite possibly the best line in this entire book. Sorry to inconvenience you, but this year the role of Violet Sorrigale, he points at me, will be played by Sweden Bjornsson, a Jackson chef, who will drag her kicking and screaming if he has to into a real relationship with a real discussion because he refuses to lose her again. If I have to know, you do too. I'm on chapter 51, and honestly, I am so emotionally strung out from this book. Like, I don't think I can take any more curveballs. I can't take any more crying. My eyes are so dry, like I genuinely don't think I have any tears left. And at the moment, things are like not that bad, which terrifies me. This terrifies me. And I don't even know if I have the emotional capacity to deal with this right now. And yet, I also know I am not going to sleep tonight until I read this, because I am so close to the end that if I stop now, it's like basically a crime. So I have to finish this. And that makes it sound like a chore, and it's not a chore, but like emotionally, I'm done. I'm wrought out. Like, I have no more emotions to give. I am completely strung out. And I have not felt this strongly about a book aside from Fourth Wing in so long. And I love it so much. Chapter 59, Big Brain Vi has just turned everything on its head again. I'm convinced this is going to keep coming back, and there's going to be like so many people that are like, oh, we know what's best because we have experience, and then Big Brain Vi is going to be like, yeah, but you're looking at it wrong. No one, and I literally fully believe this in my soul, no main character is this smart for no reason. Like, there is no way she would be this smart if it didn't like completely change the entire dynamic of everything as soon as she figures something out. The writers have grown on me, okay? The flyers have grown on me, all right? And I'm not happy that they've grown on me, okay? But they have. And I kind of like the little family that they've built. Fine, okay, I get it. They're not that bad. They're like, not necessarily evil, but they're a necessary irritation, okay? They're kind of convenient. I feel like there is a huge piece of information that we're currently missing, and I don't think it's necessarily just us. Like, I feel like the characters are missing like a huge piece of information at the moment, and I think it's in these journals that they're struggling to decipher and translate and whatnot. And I'm like convinced that that is going to change everything, and it's either going to be in like the very last page as like the world's most painful cliffhanger, or it's going to be like the entire focus of book 3, and I don't know which one is going to be at the moment. And honestly, like I am so tired of myself, and I just like cannot stop reading. Like I'm so invested, and it's like, so I said at the start of this that Fourth Wing and what will eventually become the entire Empyrean series is living rent free in my head to the point where I am paying it to live here. And honestly, it has moved from living rent free in my head to like taking complete demand over my heart, my soul, my very being. I have never been so invested. I have never been so emotionally attached. I have never cried this much at a book. Like every single like emotional thing that is happening, like I'm feeling it with just like every fiber of my being, and I just like I cannot comprehend like how good this is, and like words will like never be enough, like because like the feelings are just so powerful, and like I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, and it is like 11 o'clock at night. I am tired, I am emotionally strung out. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. I've got less than 100 pages, and I don't know if I want to cry, rage, or go to bed, honestly, right now. I don't know what I want. I want someone to put me in this world. As much as I would die as a dragon rider, I don't think I'd do very well. But if someone told me this was real in an alternate dimension, I would literally sell my soul to get there. Would that make me a villain though if I sold my soul? Well, it's not really for power, so no. I'd open up a tea shop. I would open up a tea shop. I'd have the time of my life. Just like knowing it's real. I'd be so happy. Oh, this is what happens to my brain when it gets to 11 o'clock at night. I stop making sense. I'm really tired. I literally passed out while reading last night. Like I was so tired that I just like actually passed out. So I had to backtrack a little bit and put my bookmark in. So I'm on page 560. Literally in the middle of a chapter, because that was basically the last thing that I tabbed. So I was like, I'm just gonna anyway. We're on page 560. We are literally in the last little stretch. Like there is like so little of this left. I am not ready emotionally, physically. No, I don't want to let this go. I am not ready for this to end. I am not ready for us to have to wait half a year, let alone potentially up to a year for the next one to come out. At this precise moment in time, I did check this morning, at this precise moment in time of recording this, there is currently no news on book 3, so I am worst case scenario prepping myself that it's going to be at least a year wait. I do not know. I remember there was people saying that we were expecting 2 every year. I don't know if that's still going to happen. I'm going to cross my fingers, my toes, my eyes, my legs, everything, and hope that we get one every 6 months so that we get 2 a year. However, at this precise moment in time, I am prepping for worst case scenario. I'm almost procrastinating this because I don't want it to end and I'm kind of scared. But at the same time, I really want to read it. So we've got biscuits, we've got tea. Hopefully the biscuits will make up for the pain. They definitely won't, but it's fine. We're just gonna carry on. It's okay, right? I have never been too scared. And now I'm terrified. Okay, it has been a few days since I finished Iron Flame, and I am now rehydrated. I was literally dehydrated from the amount that I cried. I needed a lot of sleep to recover from this. And okay, so I'm not gonna go into like a full huge deep dive going through every single tab that I have here. I am not going to go through all sorts of theories and bits and pieces. I'm going to leave that to the podcast girlies. The podcast that I will be listening to is the Fantasy Fangirls. I feel like they do such an amazing job. So I'm going to leave that to the professionals, the deep dive. I'm going to leave that to them. But I was not prepared. I was absolutely not ready in the slightest for this book. And I loved every single second of it. Honestly, all the tears, all the emotions just made it so much better. And there were so many moments that were just like, where the tension was just like so high and was like getting a little bit painful, and then we would just have like the dragons come in with just like the most amazing comment just to like snap that tension, just like give you that like reprieve. And that was like the absolute best thing. And we got so much more world building, and honestly half of my tabs that I thought should have been under world building I ended up putting under magic, because a lot of the world building was primarily magic based. And I really love that, because I feel like in the first book the only kind of magic-y stuff that we got was the actual signets, whereas in this it just like really explained how magic has like influenced the world and influenced how everything kind of like pieces together. And I really loved that, and we got so much more depth of all of our characters, especially Violet and Xaden. Obviously like they go through a lot in this book. I fundamentally disagree with Dane getting a redemption arc, and I feel like that is where this is going at the end of this. I feel like there is going to be a bigger reason, and Rebecca will have a much grander plan than, oh yeah, you know, he just gets a redemption arc and they're back to besties. I feel like there's going to be like so much more to it than that. Just the way that she writes, and in all honesty, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are the only two books of hers that I've read, but I just feel like that's where it's headed. And I feel like she very much has like a lot still like in her back pocket, up her sleeve, and she's like, I'm not gonna tell you everything yet. And I feel like we kind of really saw that in this book, how there was so much in Fourth Wing that we were like, yeah, this is how it's gonna go, and then she was like, but do you remember that like 2-sentence little thing that I dropped, or that one specific word that I kept using? There was a very specific reason for it, and here it is. And even so, like even up to the last page in this, like I think like basically the second to last page, okay, maybe like the third to last, whatever, in like one of the last pages I put in a foreshadowing tab, because there is so much still to be delved into and so much still going on in this world that we just like we don't know yet. And I could not be more excited. I am in pain a little bit at the fact that we currently do not have a timeline on when we're expecting book 3. Like I said earlier in the video, I remember people saying that we were going to be getting 2 a year, so May and November. I don't know if that is still going to be continuing. I, at the moment, am preparing for worst case scenario, and that we won't get book number 3 until basically the end of 2024. I am prepping for worst case scenario, and then if it comes earlier, I will be chuffed as chips. I think I literally felt every range of emotions like humanly possible. I think I felt like genuinely, I felt emotions that I have not felt before, like ever in my entire life as a human being. There are some things that this pulled out of me that I've literally never felt before, and I could not love it anymore for that. I can't even say like, oh, this is a recommendation, because this goes so far beyond me just saying, oh yeah, you really need to read this book because like I really rate it. Truly, this is now so ingrained in my soul, and the Empyrean series is now so ingrained in like the very fibre of my being. Like I felt everything with every ounce of humanity, physicality, emotionality, that's not a word, but you get what I'm saying. Like everything I felt with everything I am and ever will be and ever have been. And that's not even an exaggeration, honestly. I could not be living, breathing, dying anymore for this book, and like it was like so painful in the best way at like so many moments, and honestly it just makes me want to like reread it all over again. However, like I seriously need to like restabilize on my hydration standpoint before I read this again because of how much I cried. Literally, I was actually like dehydrated. I drank the day I finished this, I literally drank like 2 full bottles of water, and normally I'll get like half, maybe 3/4 in a day. Like I drink tea and stuff on top of that, but like I literally drank so much water because I was just so dehydrated. It was crazy. I can tell you right now, this is the best book I have read this year. This is the best book I have read in so many years. I am gonna very much struggle to find a book to top this, probably until we get number 3 of this series. I genuinely don't think I'm gonna find something that tops this. This just, like, I genuinely feel like Rebecca wrote this, like, for me personally, because this was like the absolute perfection that I needed, that I didn't know I needed, but I needed. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me. This has been emotional, this has been a roller coaster, and honestly, I have enjoyed every single second of it. All through the tears, all through the anger, all through the crying. I have loved every single second of it. If you guys have read this, let me know down in the comments below, or if you are going to pick it up and read it, do let me know. My Instagram will be linked down below as well. I do kind of hang out on there a little bit, so do come in and say hi. While you're there, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!